Okay, hi guys. We're going to talk about meal planning. And meal planning, I always ask these first couple of questions. First, have you ever planned a meal? Not like have you ever made mac and cheese or ramen, but have you ever, your mom says, hey, you're going to make dinner tonight, so what would you like to have and what do we need kind of thing. Or somebody's coming over, what would you like for dinner? And let's think of a meal that you can have for that. And then what are some things you considered when choosing this meal? Or after you chose a meal, then what did you have to think about? So sometimes we make choices and then we forget that those choices don't always pan out. Those plans don't always work. So we're going to talk about meal planning so that you have enough of everything and you've thought all the way through from beginning to end. First, the art of selecting foods to be served at one time that complement each other in nutritive value, appearance, and flavor. So that's menu planning. If I'm going to plan, a week's meals for my family, I want to make sure that I first feed them all the food groups that they need. That would be nutritive value. So I think about my plate, appearance would be, not just fried food or not the same colors and definitely something that looks appetizing, but also flavor. So right now, we're trying to introduce our children to lots and lots of different flavors because they say that in the first few years of life, you're supposed to give them almost every flavor, all the different variances, spicy, salty, sweet, tangy, all of it, so that later on they don't think anything is strange, is weird, because they've had this introduced. So here's some things to consider. Maybe you've thought about this. First, the time. Is there enough time to prepare the menu? I don't know about you, but there sometimes it's hard for me to balance it. I make an entree, I make a side, and my side dish gets done way before my entree. Or I didn't think that, to prepare or to prep this will be 30 minutes, but to make it will be an hour. And then we're not eating for another 2 hours because it's just to cook. How much money do I have and what can I afford? So again, if you've ever thought about having to entertain people, then you can't always have Casey strip steaks because depending on how many people are coming over, that's very expensive. I mean, if you can afford it, great, I'll be at your house for dinner. But if you can't, we got to figure something out. Skill. Now, I've made the mistake of trying things that I definitely couldn't make, and I just kind of write it off to learning. So I understand that if you don't have the skill and capacity to make it, but you try, that's great. Now, if I'm entertaining people, I'm not going to try something new. That would be ridiculous. I need to try something or to make something that I've already tried and that I know I can be successful at. So here's some other things to consider. If people are coming over and you don't know them very well, you may run into some issues with their food restrictions, and that could have anything to do with religion, to their traditions or customs. You get vegetarians and vegans, obviously allergies, and then if a food is in season. So one of my favorite things is strawberry pie. Okay, but strawberries aren't in season right now, and so they're like $6 for a pound of them, and or 16 ounces. It's just a lot. It's a lot of money, and so let's pick a fruit that's in season, which means it's very available. It's everywhere, and it's cheaper. So when foods are in season, they're readily available and they're a lot cheaper. So you want to try that. I talked about this, some nutritional considerations. It is going to be difficult. Oops, I'm going to go back. It's going to be difficult to get all of your food groups into one meal. You can always offer different sides in order to get that, but it's not necessary that you get all the food groups into every meal. It's actually going to be way too much food in your 24-hour requirement. So some things to think about is people's ages, health conditions, like if they have any, diabetes or heart conditions. I was thinking also, like when I was pregnant, I had a lot of restrictions and things to that nature. activity level, so maybe some of your more active people need more calories or more servings. Gender, boys naturally need more than girls. It's unfair, but it's true. And then body build. So, very muscular people, they metabolize quicker. And that's just, they need more calories. Aesthetic considerations. So we definitely eat with our senses. You see the food, you smell the food, and then it makes you want to eat the food. If you don't like the way it looks, if you don't like the way it smells, if you don't like the texture, some people have an issue with food texture, it may be not great for you. So we're going to talk about a few of these. Color. So obviously you want a variety. Like I said earlier, you want to mix it up. You want to make it look good. If you're serving this to guests, you want them to want to eat your meal. Garnishes are a way to add a pop of color, like some parsley or some green onions sprinkle on top. So this meal is a baked potato, I'm going to say applesauce, and grilled chicken with milk. This is definitely a thumbs down for color. You can substitute the applesauce for like a fruit medley. You can substitute the potato for maybe something green beans, asparagus, something pretty, maybe a side salad. Size and shape. Obviously varied. You want a variety so that it keeps your palate kind of guessing. Don't hang foods off of the plate if you can help it. And try to give them appropriate servings. So this is a thumbs up. This is pretty good. I think it's corn and ravioli with rice. It's a lot of starches there. It's not very healthy. You could substitute the corn for something a little healthier as far as vegetable goes. But flavors. So if you vary your flavors, just so you know, you're more interested in the food. I don't know if you've ever had something all week long. My mom used to make these big vats of like chili or soups, and we would just eat that all week long, and it would get so boring, even though it's really delicious. So your taste buds, you have 9,000 taste buds that can taste all kinds of different flavors, and I know you're at the point right now that you're a little selfish. You're like, I don't like that flavor. That's disgusting. That's gross. But you're also at that stage, and you will be for the next probably 10 years, where your taste buds are changing. So you need to try things that you thought were gross again, and you need to try them in different ways. Here we have chili, spicy, jalapeno cheese crackers, a little spicy, salad with Italian dressing. Italian dressing is that tangy, spicy dressing. Gingerbread has a little bit of a kick to it, and hot spice cider. So here we have a lot of strong flavors. I suggest maybe just doing regular cheese crackers, or just some like saltine crackers instead of the jalapeno cheese. Maybe change the salad to ranch dressing. You could change your hot spice cider to iced tea, and that would definitely give you a different temperature as well. Okay, so this is a thumbs down. It's just all too spicy. Texture. All right, when you deal with texture, you have to imagine actually eating the food. Okay, so let's look at this. This is what I mean. Hamburger helper. If you don't know what that is, it's like a goulash, like a cheesy hamburger noodle mix. Dinner roll, mashed potatoes, applesauce, and pudding. So rough or smooth? I'm pretty sure a lot of that is just pretty smooth. Soft or hard? Very soft to eat. Raw or cooked? I don't think any of that's raw. Maybe the applesauce, but you don't even have to eat, crunch it. So, crunchy or crispy? No. Chewy? Not really. Maybe the dinner roll and the hamburger helper, I guess. This is a thumbs down. This is boring for your palate. The textures are very soft, very smushy. Like, they're just too easy to eat. This reminds me of a meal that would be nice for somebody that doesn't have a lot of teeth. So maybe substitute. Here we go. Mashed potatoes, obviously. Pick a vegetable that's got some crisp to it. Broccoli. You could do a medley. Broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots. Beautiful. Hamburger helper isn't... I grew up with a lot of hamburger helper, and it's not one of my favorite things. So I immediately want to change that one. But I'll let that go. Applesauce. Again with this applesauce. Why is it always there? Pick something with a little crisp, make it raw, like you could just have apples, sliced apples, delicious. Temperature. Okay. You should vary in temperature. Not everything should be hot, because I don't know about you. If my whole meal is hot, 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 I'm like begging for a cold beverage. Like, it's kind of annoying to me. So you got to mix it up just a little bit. Hot foods, cold foods, regardless of season or temperature outside. Cold food should be served very cold and hot foods very hot. I don't know if you like your salad lukewarm or if you like your steak to be not hot or just plain warm, but very few foods are served lukewarm, like dinner rolls might be, or chips when you're eating chips and salsa. But everything else should be pretty hot or cold. What could we add to this meal to balance? So, immediately I think side salad, because that would be ice cold, let's hope. You could do cold. Oh, you need a drink. So ice water, iced tea. What else? Temperature. I mean, you could always add fruit, because I'm not seeing that there. So again, a little fruit medley. Maybe some strawberries, grapes, and blueberries. Delicious. All right, so you're about ready to do this assignment. You're going to take this menu. Oh, okay, yeah. You're going to take this menu and you're going to figure out problems that are going to be, either any of those: temperature, size and shape, color, nutritive value. You can, any of those things, probable problems, pinpoint probable problems. Woo, that's some alliteration. And you're going to change it. So you got to make at least 3 changes here, and what I would do is just put a line through it, and then tell me what you changed it with and why that made it better. So don't just change them, but tell me what you're fixing with the problem. All right, guys, that is it. I hope this was easier than doing it on your own. If you have any questions, you know where to find me.